So first with introduction, I am Shubhecha Raha. I'm a research scholar of Arunachal University of Studies, and this presentation had been made along with my supervisor, Dr. Biplab Tripathi. He is an associate professor of Arunachal University of Studies, Namsai, Arunachal Pradesh. Today, our topic is cultural connection between Thai Khamtis of Northeast India and Shan communities of Thailand. So proceeding further, introductions. Thai Khamtis are one of the 25 major tribes of Arunachal Pradesh. They belong to Thai ethnic group, which is also recognized as the Shan people, who are in the Thai ethnic group of Southeast Asia. So Shan peoples are also known as Thai Long or Thai Yai, being one of the minority communities in Myanmar. They are the sole natives of Shan states of this country. They had a kingdom which dates back to 6th century. Apart from that ethnic group, which is also found in Kachin state of Mandalaya region in Myanmar, and some more region in China, Thailand, and Northeast India. In Thailand, the Shan are common in the northern region. Uh, then the Thai Khamtis of Arunachal Pradesh actually belong to this Shan ethnic group, and parts and the members of this ethnic groups are found in different other countries of South Asia, including Myanmar, China, and Thailand. The Khamti language, which is spoken in the northeastern India, they also have a very deep-rooted connection with the language family, which connects all the important Shai languages and the official language of Thailand as well. Though being separate from the core Thai Shan essence, the Khamtis of Arunachal Pradesh, their culture had been blended with Indian culture, but they did not actually fail to justify their connection with the Thai or the Shan foundation. Their lifestyle, their tradition, their religion ceremonies, everything actually shows resemblance between the Shai communities of Thailand, Myanmar, and the Shai communities of Arunachal Pradesh, the tribe which I'm talking about, that is the Thai Khamtis. So Thai Khamtis, apart from Arunachal Pradesh, which is found in the Namsai district, this tribal group is also found in the Changlang, Tirap, and Lower Subansiri district. And apart from Arunachal Pradesh, they are also prevalent in Lakhimpur and Dibrugarh and Kachar district of Assam. So the objective, what is the objective of the study? The study is objectified to highlight the Thai-Shan connection and the cultural affinity of the Thai Khamti tribal group of Arunachal Pradesh with other Shan communities of Thailand. The study also intends to project the cultural significance of the Thai-Shan ethnicity amidst of a different cultural consolidation that happened and throughout the years in different countries. The core objective of the study is to bring out the detailed similarities of Thai Khamti culture, their lifestyle, then the religion, and other Thai ethnic with other Thai ethnic groups of Thailand. The study aims to overall cover the ethnic and cultural connection of Thailand and Arunachal Pradesh of India. The study will magnify the ethnic Shan connection and the importance of practice of Theravada Buddhism that happens to bind different nation and nationality together with similar principle and of course the peaceful ideologies of Buddhism. Um, Actually, very sorry, this heading will be the research methodology. The study actually is conducted mostly on the basis of secondary data and research work of different scholars, and observation of the Khamti areas of Arunachal Pradesh had been made, and with this the comparison had been made. Many scholars who have come to Arunachal Pradesh from Thailand, their work had been reviewed, their work had been studied, the similarities they actually have shown, those similarities, deep researches and studies had been done based on that. Literature review, like I have done here two literature review. One of the literature review belongs to the Chow Chandra Manshe in a very important research article that titled Theravada Buddhism in Northeast India, a study of Thai Khamti. There, in this study, it has been said that the Sangha system of the Buddhist Sangha system of Thai Khamtis of Arunachal Pradesh are in so much on similarity with the Sangha system of Thailand. The customs which is seen in Thais, that the Sangha will only to be used for where the paddies can be kept other apart from being a temple. So that's a similarity that has been drawn, which I've given in this literature. Further similarities are there. As quoted, today majority of Shan people live in the Shan state, Myanmar, but they also lived in Dihong prefecture in Yunnan, People's Republic of China, which used to be the land of Muang Mok Khao or Mao Luang in the olden days, in Assam and in Arunachal Pradesh, India, and also in northern Thailand, particularly in the Mansong province. This is quoted by Dr. Sirapon Nathalang of Department of Thai and Director of Thai Studies, Center's Faculty of Arts. And this was the literature review. Here I would like to go to the main part, the connections which are highlighted here, which I'm going to definitely elaborate. The migration from Shan state, that how the other different Shan communities, including Thailand, they migrated from the basic Shan state, which was there in 6th century, and they actually happened to spread in different other places of South Asia. Then the ethnic connection, the connection of the language family, then connection with Theravada Buddhism. Then we are going to understand about the folk culture that includes folk stories, music, dance, and festivals. So going first to the story of migration, I would like to cut it short because the story is very lengthy. So in 6th century, there were two Thai kingdoms were established by two Chinese royal descendants. The name were Kunlung and Kunlai. And Kunlung and Kunlai are taken as the ancestors of all Shan communities, and they had a farther descendant whose name was Ai Kunlong, who created another Thai state which is in present day Burma. The farther the state of Mualong or Muapong was found in the Khamtipa, and other descendant of Ai Kunlong near the very fertile valley of river Saint Juan. The Shan people lived there very peacefully. Then slowly they started to migrate. The Khamtis also migrated farther to the northern part of Myanmar. The Moon Khamti Long or Bor Khamti in Putao, Burma, which is the main homeland, which was considered to be one of the golden homelands of Khamtis. Then later on, when King Alambra started to dismember the Khamtis and other Shan territories of Upper Burma, the Burmese army also probed into different Thai territories. The Khamtis were forced to migrate to northeast India in the vicinity of the Sadia region, along with many other Shan tribes. Apart from that, during the course of time, the Shan people, they spread to different other places of the Southeast Asia. The ethnic collection, I would like to talk about the ethnic collection. The cultural diffusion here plays a very important role shaping tradition and culture of certain communities. The Khamtis of Arunachal Pradesh as well as the Northeast India accepted many Indian tradition, culture and religion essence. Then Indian philosophy, lifestyle, language also have influenced them a lot. Similarly, the Shans who migrated to Thailand, they also evolved in the very own way with the native Thai culture. Somehow the connection is there, the imprints of the Shan identity is still there, and this actually never faded. Never faded. I would like to talk about the language family that happened to connect the Thai Khampis together. So Kra Dai is the Thai Khampis and the other Shans together. Kra Dai is the main language family. Then Kra Dai actually is the language family of those languages which are considered to be the official language of Thailand. So Kra Dai was further divided into five languages. Then the Thai, which is again subdivided into Northern Thai, Central Thai, and South Central Thai. Then that is also again divided into the Southern, then Chiang Seng, Lao Phutao, Phutai, etc. And finally, the northern one, that is the actually from where the Khamtis language, Ahom language, then the Shan, then the Thai Phake, then Thai Nua, Thai Aiton, Thai Layang, and Turung. This language actually happened to come to resurface. And so we can consider that Kra Dai is the basic language that actually connects all the Shan ethnic groups together. So here again, the religion connection. So Buddhism is the religion which is very much dominant in Asia, and especially Southeast Asia. Buddhism is a very important religion. The Thai and the Shan ethnicities, they have a deep-rooted connection with Theravada Buddhism. Theravada Buddhism is also known as Hinayana Buddhism. That actually connects them over spatial and chronological differences. So the temple of the Khamti Buddhist, a Khamti Buddhist temple is actually called Chong. And the Chong has a lot of similarity with the temples of other Thai communities which are there in Thailand. The Kongmu or the Chedi, where actually the Buddhic idol or the relic is kept, that is also has a lot of similarities in the Theravada temples of Thailand and Arunachal Pradesh. In Namsai, Arunachal Pradesh, the relic of Phra Upakutta or Chao Sang Ukfok, uh, he is a deity who sits on a shrine of water, and he's considered to be the god of protection. Similar kind of worshipping to god of protection or guardian deity is also seen in the among the Shan people, or the Shan Theravada followers of Thailand, Laos, etc. Then connection with folk culture. First, I would like to talk about the stories. The Jataka story or the story of Buddha is very much popular among all the Shan ethnicities. Apart from different stories associated with Buddhism, some common in the Shan communities, some common stories are there which are there like common in both India and Thailand. These moral stories are very much frequent in the custom of Koi Lulik, where it's a kind of a custom where lik means the scripture. The scripture is offered to the deity to fulfill some material purpose. This culture is also seen among the Shan ethnic groups of Thailand also. The story of Sangfaku, then the Chao Sang Nagasen, all these stories are very much common in Arunachal Pradesh also and in Thailand also. The stories of Khunlu and Khunlai, these two royal heirs of central China, they are considered to be the ancestors of all the Shan communities or Shan ethnic groups, include the Thai Khamtis and other Shan ethnic groups of Thailand. So this is how the folk stories also connect these groups. Then dance and music, Thai Khamti dance and has its origin in Thailand. If we see the Thai Khamti traditional dance, then of course it has so much similarities with traditional dances of Thailand and Myanmar. Different Thai Khamti traditional dance forms have a visible similarity. The spectrum of color, then the grandeur of performances and the traditional instruments, narration of ancestral stories, all these things are included in the dance, which is very common in South Asia, especially among the Thai communities. Doesn't matter whether it's in India or whether it's in Thailand. A dance form like the It's King Rai or the Ka Kingra that features a half human and half peacock mythical creature, that is also very much common in Thailand. And similarly, this kind of dance feature we also see in Northeast India. Thai Khamti dance forms also include popular cockfight dance, which is very common. There is a demon dance among the Khamti people, which is a very popular dance among the Buddhist culture. That projects the trump of Gautama Buddha over evil spirit realizing nirvana, and that actually crosses beyond the boundary, beyond any international boundary. Festival, Sanken festival, which is also interpreted as Songkran festival in India. This festival is also seen in India also, among the Thai communities and also the Thai people of Thailand. So this was another the festival similarities. The similarities in agricultural practice, I would like to include here. Rice is the staple food of South Asia, Southeast Asia. We know that. So Thai Khamtis also take rice or paddy as their staple diet. And Thailand also, rice has a very strong background, and the cultivation of rice is also very much popular. Handmade traditional tools like wooden plow, tiller, these are so much in similarities with the Shan communities of Myanmar and northern Thailand, which is also observed among the Khamti people. The use of indigenous irrigational methods like building embankment and narrow canals or irrigation is also very much common practice. Then importance of different yet specific rice production stage is also very a good example of the Thai Khamti agricultural practice and the similarities with the agricultural practice of Thailand. Use of manual labor is also another common factor. Then similarities of settlement, how the settlement is done, like the architecture or rather the structure of their village. A traditional Khamti village of Arunachal Pradesh is either near the river or near the paddy field. So it's a very neatly crafted Thai Khamti house, which actually rises on a wooden platform. They have a thatched roof. Then wooden railing is very common. Bamboo fences are there. Then extensive woodwork and bamboo works and use of bamboo leaves are also there. So this has so much similarities among the Shan people of Thailand. They also have shown similar kind of settlement feature. The nearness to water body is an example, is a very important um, very important feature actually. Then extensive prevalence of paddy field, that is the settlement growing near the paddy field. Then existing of a Buddhist temple in particular in every village. These are the very common practice among the Thai Khamtis and also the Shan, different Shan villages in different part of Asia. Presence of wooden handloom machines in the household. This is also very common. Ubiquity of bamboos and coconut and other trees in the houses is also seen. In the Khamti localities, we get to see these kind of trees a lot, and similarly, the Thai Shan communities of northern Thailand, we see this kind of feature also. Similarities in political system, that is a traditional Khamti village of Arunachal Pradesh will actually have a village chief who will have a lot of responsibility. Other important figures in the Thai Khamti political system is the Chow Mang, who happens to be the head or the elderly council of the village. The Chow Fa system is there, who happens to be the head of the tribe. He leads the Mochum or the council of ministers. So Chow Fa system is seen in Thailand, Myanmar also, among all the Shan tribes, right? We see the system in Thai Khamti tribe of Arunachal Pradesh also, and we happen to see the similar system among the other Shan tribes existing in Thailand, Myanmar also. So the political system also have a lot of similarities. Then the use of medicinal plant. Ethno-medicinal practice is very common. Using botanical resources are one of the very unique practice that is actually prevalent among the Thai communities, Khamti communities as well, where the knowledge of medical plant is actually transferred from one ancestor of the clan to the another generation. The medicinal use of plant or the ethno-medicinal practice is a very common practice in Thailand and other Southeast Asian countries like Thailand. Numerous people are still dependent and do rely on this kind of medicinal practice. For example, treatment of malaria, snake bite, fracture of bones, diabetes, etc. They in generally they like to depend on this kind of medicinal plant. This is a very common practice seen among the Khamti people also, and also the other Shan tribal people of Thailand and Myanmar. Then I would like to pull the analysis now. The Thai Khamti ethnicity is an important part of Shan tribes. Like Shan, as I said, that Shans are used to be like all the Shan the ethnicities and tribal group, they used to not group, rather I would use the word clan. They used to stay together in the northern part of Burma until they started to migrate to different other places. So Khamti being one of the very important part of the Thai ethnic group. The Thai Khamti language is a branch of the Kra-Dai language family group. So all these imply a very close-knitted connection between the Shan communities of of Southeast Asia. The ancient Shan kingdoms date back to 6th century AD, when the Shan kingdoms were built by two royal ancestors of China. The kingdom existed in the area that is currently included in present-day Myanmar. All Shan tribes lived very peacefully until hostility happened, induced by the ruler of the Konghuan dynasty. And this is when the Shan, they started to migrate to different other parts of Southeast Asia, including Northeast India and Northern Thailand. The tribe might be separated, but the streams of tradition, culture, language, religion, they happen to bind all the Shan ethnic groups together despite of any kind of geographical proximity. The conclusion I would like to pull here is that the very first connection is the bond of language, which we have seen the Kra-Dai family, the language family happens to bind all the Shan groups together. Then the affiliation of the religion, the Theravada Buddhism also tied all the Shans together with similar kind of culture. And we have seen the similarities in folk stories, folk music, dance, festival, and also attached the Shan clans in the different similar ideologies and taste of art forms. Then the household pattern also we have seen there is a lot of similarity, organization of villages there. Then we have seen resemblance in the agricultural practice also. Then we have seen the Chaufa system or the political system. All this, then the inclination towards the ethnobotanic or the medicinal ethnomedical practice. So we have seen all these things, all the similarities between the two communities. So it might be that the Shan communities, they might be separated through different international boundaries. Then they underwent diffusion, cultural diffusion under the particular country, like the Shans of Arunachal Pradesh, they got the influence of Indian culture. Then the Shans of Arunachal Pradesh, they got influence of Thai culture, and Shans of Myanmar, they got influence to Burmese culture. But somehow all these things happen to link them together, and this is what actually denotes their connection despite of whatever separation they have faced. So these are the references we have taken from different places, the studies we have done based on these references. So this is where I would like to complete my presentation.
That was a good presentation, Mr. Radha.
Yes.
Mr. Radha, mute your.
Okay. Yes, right. Any questions anybody would like to ask?
Yes, ma'am. Can you mute your audio?
Okay, sure. You want me to mute myself? Okay.
Yeah, you have two audios, right? Okay. See, your presentation is a good one, and you made us understand the cultural connect between Thai and Shah community. That was a wonderful presentation, and you told that there are many connections between these two communities, right? And you told that there is similarity between Chong and the temple, and in way which it is connected together, the Chong and the Indian temple, like Andhra Pradesh or something you told, the temple, how it is connected.
Yes. Yeah, I would like to tell here, Chong means actually the temple, the Buddhist temple or the monastery in other words. Okay. So the architectural feature, the design and all the internal feature of the Theravada Buddhist Khamti tribes who happen to be part of the Shan communities, whatever we see in Arunachal Pradesh, like if somebody happens to visit Namsai district of Arunachal Pradesh, if they visit every single monastery, simple monasteries, of course the Golden Temple is there, but apart from that, simple monastery, common monastery we get to see in every village. If we happen to visit this, then we can see the internal part of the temple or the chong is so much similar to it. That means where the relic of Buddha is kept, that part has similarity with the uh, the same that is there in the other tribal groups of in other Shan communities which are seen in Thailand. So I wanted to highlight this part. Actually, the Theravada Buddhist temples of the Khamtis of Arunachal Pradesh has similarities with other Shan tribal group and their temple which is there in northern part of Thailand.
Okay, thank you. And
Okay.
you told that you have collected all the data from your some research scholars or something. So did you do the research work, or do you have the direct contact with that tribal people again?
See, like I am a like, am I audible? Yes. So the thing is that I am a research scholar and I'm working in I'm doing my research from Arunachal Pradesh. Of course, I visited Arunachal Pradesh and I have visited the sites in Arunachal Pradesh. I didn't go to Thailand, so I happened to get some research work of the scholars who came from there. Like I have given in my reference, who came from Thailand to this Khamti areas of Arunachal Pradesh, and they have done some elaborate research and they have cited some similarities. So similarities which I have, and we also have worked elaborately on the Khamti tribal group. Elaborately, me and my supervisor, we also have a book on this tribal group. So for that, we have done elaborate research on this tribe. And while doing the research, we have found the similarities of the ethnic similarities, the religious similarities. While doing the research, we found all the similarities. And further, when we try to make the paper on similarities, we have taken references from the scholars who came from Thailand to Arunachal Pradesh to study. So we were there in Arunachal Pradesh studying our part, and some scholars who came from Thailand, they have done their part, and we happen to take reference from them, and of course our own observation.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay.
The presentation is a nice one, and now we can move on to the next paper presentation, that is by Anu K. Jose.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Am I audible?
You are audible. Good afternoon.
Okay, thank you. I will keep this presentation an oral one. The paper is titled Gender Policing Through Humor. It is an analysis of the jokes of Khushwant Singh selectively from his collected joke book. And I have selected the joke book number 6 for the references. And To enter the paper, jokes, as we normally think, are not so innocent. They play a significant role in maintaining the structures of society that are often biased or favoring one section over the other. Studies related to gender discuss several issues related to the social construction of gender identity and gender-specific roles. However, the genre of humor studies needs to be further explored in this light. Humor and the aligned feature of ridicule are brought together to identify the panoptic role played by the former, that is, humor, in enforcing a social hierarchical structure relation to gender in society. As a disciplinary tool, humor is significant in cultivating a social agent who will oblige to the norms of society out of fear of being laughed at. This paper attempts a critical analysis of the jokes narrated by Kushwant Singh in his joke book 6 with a focus on gender humor. The concept of ridicule suggested by Michael Billig is employed to understand the role played by humor in reinforcing gender roles and hegemony in society. To enter into the paper, gender studies as a field of critical study is keen on issues related to gender differences and the associated themes of oppression. However, the role played by humor in maintaining the gender hierarchy has not been unearthed to the full extent. Humor and the related areas of knowledge like comics, jokes, and cartoons were taken as innocent modes of entertainment, devoid of any hidden agenda. But are the jokes so innocent? There are underlying concepts behind every bit of laughter that jokes create. There may be some age-old practice, a superstition, a custom, or a social construct. In connection with issues of gender, there is a large corpus of practices and beliefs that rule the scene. The Indian genre of humor is rich with verbal stories, Tenali Raman stories, Sardarji jokes, and so on. Kushwant Singh has a prominent figure in the field of Sardarji jokes and on-the-face humor. He directed his humor towards all sections of society, irrespective of their position, economic status, ethnicity, or gender. Being a multifaceted personality, he has tried his hands at everything that came his way. So his humor has a wide range and he has got something for everyone. Though famous for his novel Train to Pakistan, he has a large number of joke books to his credit. The jokes he has published in author's column in the Hindustan Times and the Tribune were compiled and printed as joke books. Michael Billig, in his prominent text Laughter and Ridicule, towards a social critique of humor, etches out a connection between the role of humor and social order concerning gender roles. He gives special attention towards the element of ridicule, which he claims is significant in enforcing the social order. Humor is enjoyed by people everywhere beyond the differences in age, knowledge, gender, or nationality. Through the aspect of placing one superior over another while delivering a joke, laughter is evoked at the expense of the weakness or inferiority of another person. And this aspect, it is very clear when it comes to the gender system. When we analyze jokes seriously in the light of their role in maintaining social order, we can see a hitherto neglected phase of humor. Some of the selected jokes from Kushwant Singh's Joke Book 6 can be analyzed critically to understand how they define gender roles or assume certain gender identities. This will help us to know in detail about humor related to gender issues and understand how gender is constructed through humor. Teasing, harassment, and ridicule were known as tools for maintaining and preserving hierarchical power structures. In the field of humor, also we come across the same tools being employed to maintain a hegemonic structure about gender. Even when it comes to the readers or the audience, these jokes act as a warning that they too can be butts of jokes if they in any way deviate from the existing system. They are in danger of being grouped with those put on ridicule if they are found not enjoying these jokes. In her essay, The Role of Humor in Social Construction of Gender, Marlene Mackey asserts that humor plays a significant role in the social construction of gender. She's concerned about the conservative role of humor in maintaining patriarchal hegemony. Humor preserves socially constructed beliefs about the various gender roles and identities. Humor acts like an ideological apparatus in reinforcing gender identities. According to Mackey, since humor generally affirms societal standards, its key function is the ideological buttress of the patriarchal status quo. To ridicule, when we take as a term, it means to mock, to show the absurdity of, or to make fun of, or belittle, or to taunt or tease. More significantly, it signifies the act of making fun of some aspect of another person, involving a combination of humor and degradation, and encompasses a range of activities like teasing, sarcasm, and ritualized insults. The systematic thoughts on ridicule first emerged in the English philosopher Thomas Hobbes' Leviathan and the treatise on human nature. As a philosopher whose ideas on humor demarcate the classical and modern theories of humor, Hobbes puts ridicule at the psychological core of humor. He famously defines laughter as nothing less but sudden glory arising from a sudden conception of some imminency in ourselves by comparison with the infirmity of others or with our own formerly. Hobbes' debate about laughter and humor developed what is now recognized as the superiority theory of humor, according to which when something evokes laughter, it is by revealing someone's inferiority to the person laughing. In the work Laughter and Ridicule, Billings takes an argument for what he regards as largely overlooked yet central to the role of ridicule. It as an aspect or form of humor in social life. This vital role, he contends, has been textually repressed in prevalent popular and academic psychological studies of humor. Such Billings shows manifest what he deems and thoroughly critiques as ideological positivism, that is, an ideologically motivated system of differentiating humor into desired positives and ignored negatives throughout social sciences. Following Billing, we can assume the universal role of ridicule as a form or aspect of humor in maintaining social order. We can expect that in a society, certain ridicule-based mainstream gender humor is directed towards sustaining its gender order as a significant example of social order, loaded with norms and values. The panoptic aspect and the extent of policing hidden behind humor can be understood from the joke titled Instant Pregnancy, narrated by Kushwant Singh in his joke book. It goes like this. When Bando, the major character in Kushwant Singh's jokes, Bando boarded a crowded bus, finding it difficult to bear the jolts, she requested a passenger to give up his seat because she was pregnant. The gentleman stood up and offered his seat to her. Standing by her side, he carefully examined her anatomy and felt cheated. He asked, Behenji, when did you become pregnant? Only this morning, replied Bando. Here we get elements of gender policing where there is a conscious search for normative gender expressions on an individual who is found to be deviating from the expected appearance or behavior. How is it possible to address a person as a gentleman when he is described as keenly observing the anatomy of a lady in front of him? There are doubts regarding the structure of a society that places such audacity on men to encounter women in public about the veracity of their pregnancy. Keeping the element of humor at bay, this joke has serious gender connotations that are to be brought out and discussed. There is serious confusion regarding the power of decision-making in marital bond, where often the superiority is attributed to the male counterpart. However, in the joke titled 2 or 3, there is a humorous conclusion to the situation where the man's attempt to be the final word is overturned by the wife's clever retort. The man's comment about undertaking vasectomy as a tool to stop the number of kids they have, where women, the girl, she comes with the opinion that she has other options of having more kids, even when her man is denying the option. So jokes often play in positive and negatively reinforcing gender roles. Certain jokes tend to address the audience and want them to refrain from some sort of action to escape being buds of laughter. In the joke titled Obedient Daddy, we come across a father who is much obedient and obliged to his wife. But when we laugh at this father, we are reinforcing the idea that normally the father or the patriarchal figure cannot be so obedient. He should not be so obedient. Such gender humor not only sustains gender norms, but also tend to internalize such norms in social agents. So this type of humor, gender humor, in its claim to approving laughter, apparently appeals to fear of ridicule by exerting social pressure to laugh. So if we don't laugh, we are at a tension of being grouped with those people who are not following the gender norms. So the approving laughter by the audience could be motivated in one or a combination of three ways related to fear of ridicule. We may fear that others might think that we lack a sense of humor, on an accusation which could mean that we lack a vital human quality. On the other hand, not laughing at a joke could suggest that a receiver is simply not getting the joke in the first place. Therefore, a person laughing at mainstream gender humor despite their liking it could imply that they intend to show off their success in passing what we can call a public or interpersonal test in gender basics. Finally, expressing dislike upon hearing a joke could signal the beginning of an argument. So we are supposed to laugh even if we don't agree with those type of ideas that are conveyed through these gender jokes. So here I like to conclude my paper. Thank you.
Yeah, Anju. Um, That was a wonderful presentation. Actually, I was very impressed with your presentation and the topic you have chosen for your paper is something different, look something different. And this is how the society is now nowadays. Because in many places, even in marriage occasions, also they were doing the same. When they were getting married, the brides and bridegrooms, they will be mocking all the fun, giving and all the fun talks and all that is happening there. And so you rightfully have brought all the points there, and that was a wonderful presentation. Thank you for the present. Thank you so much for giving such a wonderful presentation. Thank you. And now we can proceed with Racha Sharma's presentation. Rachi Sharma.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, just give me a second. I will just turn out my presentation.
Yeah.
Ma'am, is my screen visible?
Yeah, it's loading.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's
Shall I start, ma'am?
yeah, yes.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Prachi Sharma. I'm research scholar at Department of Languages English in Integral University, Lucknow. And this paper I'm presenting with my supervisor, Dr. Syed Bahaj Mohsin. And the topic of my research paper is Daughters of the Sun, Empress, Queens, and Begums of the Mughal Empire, a non-chauvinistic study. Okay, starting with the novel Daughters of the Sun. Here is the cover page of the novel and the author by side. Daughters of the Sun is written by Ira Mukhote, and this book was published in 2018. Over of Ira Mukhote. Ira Mukhote is an Indian author who went to University of Cambridge for her education. She has taken her degree in natural sciences. Talking about her works, her debut novel was Heroines, Powerful Indian Women of Myths and History. This novel talks about the mythological characters of India, of Indian history, as well as the real mythological characters like Radha, Draupadi, and real characters like Mirabai, Mirabai, Jahanara Begum, Begum Hazrat Mahal, and many more. Her second book is Daughters of the Sun, which we will deal with further. Her third novel is Akbar the Great Mughal, and her latest novel is Song of Draupadi. It talks about all the female characters of Mahabharata, but it mainly focuses on Draupadi. It does not forget to include all the other important characters like Satyavati, Kunti, and many more. Okay, so here is the overview of novel. Mukhote highlights all those major characters which were earlier excluded by the historians, or we can say whitewashed. They were the soft targets for politics, and they became an easy and they were, we can say, we didn't want it to write about them, or we easily forgot about them. But without ruling any nation, without ruling any land, these queens were remarkable, and their work was remarkable. But they were failed to be noted down in the history. They were the major contributors of the establishment of Mughal Sultanate in Hindustan. This book provides the parallel history of Mughal Empire and its women. The key point of this book is Mukhote does not highlight any of the historical events like wars or change of kings, etc., but it purely deals with the harems of Mughals, and it also deals with the various politics and various domestic politics of Mughal harems. It also shows how they were misinterpreted by Europeans, and what was the actual concept of harems in Mughals. Okay. The Daughters of the Sun illuminates realistic experiences from Mughal Empire. Uh, the identity of these women have been peripheral for ages. They were remarkable and much of like a heroine, we would say. The royal men, Europeans assumed that there were cloisterized spaces, harems as cloisterized spaces, but the reality was far different from it. Ira Mukhote gives ample space to these forgotten women in her work. It celebrates their lives as well as their achievement. She dig out all these characters from the history, and she very well plants it in her book. This book is in a form of ongoing events, and basically deals with all the history related to the Mughal queens and begums. So Mukhote portrays them as writers, poets, builders, traders, milk mothers, and many more. This is a luminous account which of Mughal Empire, which encircled all the Hindustan. So here is a picture of Ramchandra Guha, with whose theory I'm going to deal with. Ramchandra Guha is a historian, environmentalist, writer, as well as public intellectual. His major works include India After Gandhi, The History of World's Largest Democracy, Gandhi Before India, and Gandhi. Okay, so Guha gave this concept of Chauvinism and History in his research paper, which was published in the India Forum. The title of the research paper was The History and Chauvinism. Also, he talked about this thing in Goa 8th Literature Festival. So here are the 5 principles of chauvinism according to Guha. First is chauvinism of discipline. Second is chauvinism of method. Third is chauvinism of identity. Fourth is chauvinism of ideology, and fifth is chauvinism of nation. So we will first be dealing with chauvinism of discipline. So the basic example of this chauvinism is our Indian colleges. Where we lack Indian colleges lacks here students are not allowed, or we can say they are not comfortable in interacting with students of other department. Whereas when we look into the foreign universities, we find that students interact with other departments, their professors interacts with other departments, which help in giving a wide perspective to their study. Like their study is not confined to any particular perspective. It is rather, we can say, it is very vast, and it is thought from every different very different angles. So here I would like to add one incident which Mukhoti shows in her book. She says that Dildar Begum, who was the mother of Humayun, takes the marriage proposal to Hamida Bano, which was who was the future wife of Humayun. Hamida Bano rejects this proposal by saying that why she would marry as such an elderly man. To which Dildar Begum tries her best to convince her, and in the end, Hamida Banu says that okay, I will decide that whether I have to marry him or not by living with him before marriage. So we see that these types of concepts were not new to our country, is not new to our history. So later on she marries to Humayun, and and one more in there. So this shows that our history is rich from all the perspective, but we forgot to study it properly and study it from different various angles. Gulbadan Begum's work Humayun Nama, which is the biography of Humayun. Gulbadan Begum lived in the reign of 3 kings, that is Babur, Humayun, and Akbar. So Akbar asked her to note down all her experiences from his grandfather and father's rule, so that it can help him to rule the society. So Gulbadan Begum's write down these experiences, and it is named as Humayun Nama. So this is the very first work written by a Muslim woman, and it has a major significance, and the many of the incidents in Humayun Nama uh, are uh, are told to Gulbadan by those queens themselves. Like Hamida Bano shares her experience of Hajj, and the famous 8-year Hajj of Gulbadan Begum is also mentioned there, and it was actually all women Hajj, which was quite rare at that time, and the major events are mentioned there. Second is chauvinism of method. So the chauvinism of method is like we should not restrict our research to a particular method. There was a time when when an order was issued by a government that research scholar will only be using government authenticated method or government authenticated material for their research. Government sources, government journals, and newspapers. So the research material was quite limited to them, and so it lacked in the perspective. So it lacked in the perspective, and it was not very wide. It was not thought from different various angles, and so the characters and the major events suffered due to this kind of method. So we should not limit ourselves to one source. We have to dig and find out various different source. One can Guha says that one can never be a historian as well as Marxist. We have to leave that ideology behind and move forward in order to do a research or in order to be an historian. Okay. Identity. The third chauvinism is chauvinism of identity. Chauvinism of identity basically deals with culture, sex, and gender. So the culture of a period is studied through their monuments, their scriptures. So we find that these Mughal women have contributed a lot in building their monuments. They have built several monuments, but the thing is that we lack in knowledge about that. Patthar Masjid, the very first mosque that was built using stones, was built by Noor Jahan. And Shah Jahanabad, Shah Jahanabad holds a major contribution of Jahanara Begum, who was daughter of Shah Jahan. These women built various sarais, various tombs, and various mosques. They were scholars. Their work were marvelous, but they lacked in identity. Historians failed to give them identity. Yes. Historians failed to give these women an identity. So these, so they lacked. So they lacked in a particular. So they lacked in a particular kind of importance that should be given to them. These women, they built the various tombs of Humayun's tomb, which was built by Bega Begum, and Khanzada Begum built Babur's tomb. So these are quite famous monuments which were built by a woman. Fourth chauvinism is chauvinism of ideology. So chauvinism of ideology. Here I would like to quote. This is Stephen Greenblatt and his work Renaissance self-fashioning from Moore to Shakespeare. Okay, so Greenblatt gave the concept of new historicism. He says that history should be free from any kind of biasness. We should not be biased toward a particular character or a particular ideology or a particular importance that should be given to any character. History should be free from it. We should just free ourselves from all the we should free ourselves from all the barriers and then write the history. Mukhote overcomes this barrier in her novel. This whole concept is summarized by Louis Montaz in his work, and he says that textuality of history and historicity of text. So this basically deals with the concept of Stephen Greenblatt. Mukhote overcomes the barrier of language also, like the major texts of Mughal Empire are written in Arabic, and there are very limited scholars of Arabic language. So what Mukhote does translate all these Arabic works into English, and then she brings it to her writer so that it may become very much easy for readers to understand it. And these works have a huge significance, but the thing is that we lack in translation, we lack in the language, we can't understand that language. So what we did, we ended up misinterpreting their culture. Okay, the fourth ideology of chauvinism is chauvinism of nation. Fourth type of chauvinism is chauvinism of nation. Guha says that one should be nationalist, but one should not be a jingoist. We should respect our nation, we should prioritize our nation, but we should not be a jingoist and try to be free from that barrier. He quotes the example of Mark Bloch, who was a great historian of 20th century. He fought both the wars, First World War and Second World War, and was murdered by Nazi. Still, his essays and books which were written during that era are free from any kind of nationalist feeling. We should just try to overcome that feeling and try to understand the perspective of others. The basic concept of this chauvinism is that our history should be free from chauvinism and it should be non-chauvinistic.
Ma'am, sorry
And
for the interruption.
yes, ma'am.
Can you make sure that can you conclude the presentation?
Okay, ma'am, just 2 minutes more. I think it will be concluded that.
Yeah, okay. Did you want of time? You ask.
Yes, ma'am. Sorry, ma'am.
Yeah, did you want of time? I'm asking for this. Try to conclude this as early as possible.
Yes, ma'am. Just 2 minutes more. It will be done. So this the feeling of nationalist is also a barrier. Mukhote tries to overcome this barrier in her work. Okay, this is done. The haram culture. The word haram in Arabic means sanctuary. So for Europeans it was an alienated concept. They didn't understand the Islamic culture. What they did, they just misinterpreted the things and made their own assumptions. They said these harams were cloistered spaces. Women were kept in that, and they were not organized. They were not proper ventilated, and they faced many problems. They were not proper lighted. But opposite to that, harams were made in the royal taste. Harams were made for the royal taste of women, and they were very well organized. The highest position in the harem was Padsha Begum, which was usually held by a experienced woman. It was very few times we see that it was the queen. Harems had the king's grandmother, mother, wives, sisters, daughters, and the widows of the soldiers which fought in the war. So they were not at all sexualized spaces. The women had other works, but European thinks that all they do was to grab the attention of king by just decorating and exercising themselves. So no, this was not true. The main problem which I found that women's lacked in importance was in Mughal culture, they used to give honorific titles to these women. So these women didn't had that impact on the public. Normal public didn't knew them by their name, and it was also considered as bad by calling these royal women by their name. So what they did, they gave this title to them, and Harkabai was named as Maryam Uzzamani. So we rarely found the name of Harkabai, who was the first Hindu queen of which gave birth to a Mughal prince, who was later known as Jahangir. So yeah, we lack in sources, we lack history, we lack in we have to overcome these barriers to write a correct history. So rewriting is important. Okay, here we see two pictures of haram. First one, which is on the left hand side.
Excuse me, can you monitor?
Yes, ma'am. Okay, ma'am, done. Yes, ma'am, it's done.
Oh,
then
okay. Yeah, okay. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, push.
Yeah, that was a good presentation. And while talking about chauvinism of discipline, you mentioned the college and all. So do you think that we should not follow any discipline in colleges?
No, ma'am. Ma'am, here I am talking about the interdisciplinary things, not discipline, ma'am. So the Guha says that discipline here deals with the term interdisciplinary, which means in our colleges we are restricted, we are bounded by several rules that okay, this department students are not going to interact with the students of management department, management will not interact with law department, so that that limits the source of history of a researcher. But in foreign universities we find this thing as quite common. They used to interact with other departments and know the source and know the different angles of a particular thing.
Okay. Is there any restriction from the government side regarding this in Chauvinism of method? You have mentioned that the government is restricting the
Now,
searches to follow only.
earlier it was mentioned. I gave the example of in the chauvinism of method that earlier government said that we have to use only government authenticated data for research. Not now.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. Thank you for that.
Yes,
explanation.
thank you, ma'am.
So we can move on to the next presenter, that is Himanta Gohain. You can begin your presentation. And try to conclude with the stipulated time.
Thank you, ma'am. Am I audible?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you. I'm Himanto Muhai, and I'm going to give my presentation on tea tribes and culture of Assam. This is a study of R2-2 in Gurugram, Assam. Firstly, introduction: Bihar, Orissa, Jharkhand, West Bengal, and Madhya Pradesh. And these workers were brought to pretext that they would earn more and boost their living conditions by working in Assam. And these workers got recruited in the plantations on a family basis, and therefore they got settled and started recognizing themselves as a part of the Assamese community. And the workers got migrated as they were alienated from their lands by introducing the land tax, and they had no money to pay it. Next, the literature review. India's population is estimated to be 1.35 billion, and the population of Assam in 2018 is estimated to be 35 million, and the tea tribes covers about 17% of it. And this tea sector contributes 25% to the state domestic economy. And these tea garden workers, one day got settled in the tea gardens, they started recognizing and adopting each other's culture among themselves, as they were originally belonged to different sociocultural backgrounds. They adopted common language, which is a mixture of their native dialect, Assamese, Hindi, and Bengali, which we denote it as Sadani or Sadri. These mutual words spoken among the Assamese and tea tribes are Murgi, means chicken, and Sada, means tobacco, and this Haria is a homemade liquor, and so on. Some tea garden workers started adopting Assamese culture by engaging themselves in the Namghar, which is a prayer house of Assamese people, and singing Nam, which is Assamese prayers. Women workers also wear Sador Mekhela, which is traditional Assamese dress, and they make use of Assamese gamusa, which is a white rectangular piece of cloth with primarily a red border in three sides and red woven motif on the fourth. Next is the research methodology. My research question is, does the tea tribes still carry their native culture, or they have completely assimilated with the Assamese culture? And my research objectives are to understand the culture of the tea tribes in Kharjan tea state, and to study the impact of Assamese culture on the tea tribes culture. Uh, Next, the methodologies part. In this research, both the primary and secondary data were collected, and the secondary data were collected from articles, books, and journals. The study undertaken is qualitative in nature because collection information and personal experiences cannot be quantifiable. And the study was confined to Kharjan tea state in Assam. For this research, a focus group discussion method was used, and samples were selected through purposive sampling, and I collected 10 samples from the tea garden. Next is the data analysis and discussion part. Earlier, there was a ritual named Boita Khana. In this ritual, the elder section of the people bless the bride and groom for the better future with songs on their marriage day. This is similar to Assamese Biyanam, but nowadays these customs are diminishing. There was a custom named Natua. In this custom, the Natua would dress like a king in the marriage. The Natua perform dance holding sword in one hand and the shield on the other. Such dance performance has vanished. Even in dressing, we can see some noticeable transitions in tea tribes culture. Earlier, in Karam Puja, there was a proper dress code that women should wear half sleeves, a red blouse with white sari. But new generations, due to modernization, have brought change to these customs. In case of gamusa, the tea tribes pattern of gamusa is originally set strip of red, green, and orange color. But nowadays, these tea tribes use Assamese Phulam gamusa in their rituals also. In most of the rituals, the dressings are gradually changing. In case there is a transition of dressing from dhoti kurta to jeans and shirts also. In their culture, previously they performed pala, which is similar to Assamese Bhauna Nitya, but now these cultures among tea tribes has also diminished. Women uses Assamese jewelry like Gamkharu, Keru, and Moni. They do Bihu dance and sing Assamese songs. They also rejoice the festive season of Bihu. We can say that these three tribes are gradually leaving behind their cultural legacy of their forefathers. It is fundamental to follow the footsteps of the ancestors to preserve one's culture. Every individual must be interested to know and retain their cultural values. In case of culture, one should grab the past cultural values and march towards the future. Finally, the conclusion part. We can conclude that the festivals celebrated by these tea tribes in Assam is also widely celebrated in other parts of the India, such as West Bengal, Jharkhand, Madhya Pradesh, Orissa, Chhattisgarh, and Bihar. The cultural practices performed by the tea tribes in Assam are similar to the cultures of tribes of Jharkhand, Bengal, Orissa, Bihar, Chhattisgarh, and Madhya Pradesh as their original inhabitants of these states. It can be said that the upcoming generations have tilted towards Assamese culture, and some of their indigenous cultural practices are fading away with time, which we can denote the metaphor melting pot. In melting pot, people of diverse cultural becomes standardized members of the society. Therefore, being immigrant, it becomes very complex to retain one culture and identity without assimilating with the native cultures of the migrated state. That's all, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you, ma'am. I've completed my presentation.
Yeah, thank you, sir. So, I would like to know, and it is not from your presentation, but in Assam, the emblem that is, they give more importance. That's why I'm asking. They have replaced the human manpower and with the machine. How do you react to this?
Sorry, ma'am. Can you repeat it?
So actually, when you are talking about the culture, you are talking about the culture of Assam. So when it comes to Assam, I would like to know they have replaced the human manpower in the handloom part. They have replaced the human manpower to the machine power, right? So I would like to know how you respond to this.
Ma'am, you are asking about the gamusa and their like this handloom textiles.
Yeah, yes, sir. Not from your presentation, but I would like to know. That's what I'm.
Actually, ma'am, in Assamese culture, there is a we take the gamusa, which is a white, actually white in color, but their gamusa type cloth was mainly in red color with um, sect or red, orange, and yellow strips in it. But in present day, they are using the Assamese gamusa in their rituals also.
Okay, thank you, sir, for your presentation. Thank you. So, is there any question? It's open for the question. And is there any question to the presenters?
Thank you.
Yes. Since there is no question, we can wind up the session. Thank you. Thank you for your wonderful presentation. And a blessing. Thank you.